which nurse is suitable for which department.
What else?
May I add on to that?
No, Marie. Take it easy.
Okay.
And the index scale is from 0 to 100. And an index of 0 implies that a nurse is perfectly suited for the task. A value close to 100, on the other hand, implies that the nurse is not suited to head the unit.
So what is the difference between the problem we had before and the problem we have now?
The index scale?
Okay, so the index scale can be 0 being good,
100 being
100
not
being
good.
bad, or 0 being bad, 100 to be good, right? Can be any way you want it. In this problem, we want to minimize or we want to maximize something?
Minimize.
Minimize.
Good. Who said minimize? Jerry?
I did.
Guy.
Jerry.
No, Guy.
It was
Guy,
Guy.
not Jerry.
So I can take this problem and I can make it a case. I can take this problem and I can pay attention to what Fazila said, right? And I look at what I got from the guy that was working for me and was putting it in a code. Is he correct, or I need to make a correction? Fazila.
You have to use the minimize function, I guess.
Good. So I keep that, I copy, and I paste it, and I keep it, and I make a difference. As you see, Mathematica does it automatically, and you can have a minimize problem. I don't know anything about that. I said, Fazila said this is the right thing. And Fazila said this is the wrong thing. I marked the wrong with red and the good with green, right? This is a nice guy that did it. All the work that did for me, he did it. But he was also a guy. Do I discriminate against men? Guy. Do I discriminate against male?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
The probability of not paying attention is higher to a man than it's to a woman. And I want to do this part. So what do I want to do? I want all of you here to tell me by tomorrow what this statement that starts from here and finishes before the comma says. And I want you to explain to me as clear as possible. And because I'm lucky and I have two ladies that they don't have computer, and I want those who think in clear sense without a computer, looking at these numbers and paying attention to what Fazila said, to tell me without doing anything based upon this information, who would go where. And I'm repeating, Fazila said that 0 means perfect fit, 100 means not good fit. The smaller the number, the better off. What I want to find out is between these four nurses, Morris, Ritzer, Cook, and Morgan, who is better? Can you tell me? Erika. I have 4 nurses.
I can see that is Morgan is the last option. It says 12.
As much as possible. I can make the screen large. So, who is better? Morris, Richard, Cook, or Morgan? What are you gonna do? And you
Compare
guys
the
are fine,
numbers.
because if the question goes to Andre in his work has how many people?
2,500.
2,500, and he wants to find out who is better and who is not that good and who is worst among all these 25 numbers. 2,500 people, he needs to get them. Here you have only 4. Can you tell me how you can be able to go on and do it? Any ideas?
You mean comparing in between the each nurse and department?
Yeah.
Well, since the index scale, compared to the question yesterday, we were trying to find the professors. We were looking at the professors with the highest or lowest range in terms of their class.
But yesterday we were looking for the highest point.
Yeah, so today obviously we're looking for the nurse with the lowest index rating for each of for their specific department.
Marie, do I play clear games or do I play dirty games?
It depends on the tie you're wearing.
I explained, no, the tie doesn't have anything to do. The tie has to do with the meeting I have at 2:30.
Okay.
Why the guy that did all that work for me made a mistake, and why, knowing that he made a mistake, I gave you this code rather than this code.
Because you want to see.
And I have a question, Marie. As I go up and down my screen, do you see me going up and down or not?
I see it static now. Yes, now I see it.
So I see. Okay, good. So why this is bad and this is good? Because of one point, the command is different. Does it make any difference if the command is different?
Yes, it
Obviously. And what I want you to do is I want you to take all this information and make fast assessment. And the question that I have is, Andre, do you know how to use Excel?
Yeah.
So Andre takes all that information, he puts it into Excel. Gail, do you know how to copy and paste? You copy that information and you put it into Excel. Do I have Excel? Do you see my Excel file now or not?
No, it's still on the mathematical file.
The empty Excel file, do you see it or not?
No, it's still showing the mathematical file.
Good. I'm going to change. Sorry I asked you all these questions, but there are things that I never used before, and I want to use it now. So what do I want to do? I take all that information, and I go, and I paste it in Excel. I go to Mathematica. No, I go to my computer, and I present different things now. And all of you took CIS 100, right?
Yes.
Good. But I copy and paste what I had there here, and I see something that is different. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want very fast to organize my material. I want to put all the nurses in one case. I want to put research here. And I want to organize my information. In order to do what? Can you tell me? Robert.
Yes, you want the information in each cell to be an individual so you can then manipulate it and formalize it within Excel.
Good. I didn't have to take CIS 100. I took something that is called learning by experience or learning by doing. And this is what you have actually to do. What do I have to do? I have to clean up my data. And as I have to clean up my data, I have to organize the information in such a way that before I do anything, I can see what is happening with my allocation. I want my nurses to go to different clinics, urology, cardiology, orthopedics, or pediatrics. And I want to have that information clear. Right? In other words, I need to have a matrix with all of my data. And I need to know how to clean up the stuff in such a way that I can have all of my data there. So what do I have? Now I need to clean up all this thing. I need to make a matrix. I need to say what is happening with the case. But all of my information is in one column. These columns and rows don't have anything. These don't have anything. All of my stuff is in one part here. And I have a lot of garbage that I need to delete. Most of that garbage is strings. What is a string? That I need to take it out. And how do I do it? There are many ways to do it. One way to go on and do it is to do it manual. And if I do it manual, I'll have all the numbers. I can do it easily if I have only that many numbers. But if Andrea goes to work and he has 2,500 people, he doesn't need to do it wasting an hour to go on and do it. He needs to, in a few minutes, to have it done. What Andrea needs to do is to take this information that is a text and put it into column. And he wants to make it very fast. Is this what we want to do? To have it, everything in one column. Andrea, do you know who is mystical?
No.
And I want to do it very fast. The challenge is, if you work for Andrea, and there are 2,500 people that are working for him, and he is interested in hiring an extra one or firing 10 of them. He wants someone to organize his data. And in order to organize the data, one thing you need to do is clear up your data. And I don't want to do it the manual way. What's the manual way? Everything that is not a number gets out of it. Everything that is a number stays for it. And after that is done, all the numbers are in one column. Then I want to take information from the column and distribute it to different places. I'm using text to columns. I can use a delimiter or a specific width. I can see how it's done. I click it and it goes all the way to this part. Now I can be able to make a comparison between these two. And I'm going to increase the size so we can all see it. I can be able to make a comparison between these two nurses. Which one is better to be allocated in any other place? Can you tell me? Taiwa, what do I do? Can you tell me which one is better to go where, which one is worse to go where else, and who is better on the average? What do I need to do?
I believe what you need to do, since you're looking to minimize, you see the one with the lowest number.
Taiwa is right. The other task that I want to do is I want you guys to go on and work for a DRE, and I don't want to do everything I do here work manually. I want you to clean up your data automatically by using copy and paste, alter, etc. And that is extremely important stuff you need to do. Yesterday I checked with my friend who is teaching computers CIS 100, and I said, do you do that in your class? He said, no, man, I don't do it. If I do it like this, you see these two numbers, they're gonna go to one cell. If they go to one cell, I have a problem. I need to go back and see how I will do it differently. I will use a delimiter. If I use space, they will go to different cells. What is going to happen now? They will go to different cells. I don't want them there. I want them to be down here. And what do I want to do? I want you to start with this information. I don't know what this is information. You need to pay attention. Before, the problem was the higher the number, the better off. Now, Mozilla said the lower the number, the better off. Taiwa said, I want to make a judgment, and the judgment need to be fast. The judgment is about the nurses. Who is a better nurse? Where? And Taiwa says, I need to look at the minimum. The minimum is what I like. I need to look at the maximum. The maximum is what I don't like. And I can look at the average. The average is what more or less is going to be. And I need to do at the standard deviation. And the standard deviation is how much of a difference it's going to be from one case to the other. I have my data. Before I go to my decision making, what do I need to do? I can put formulas for one case. If I put formulas for one case, Liza, you are late for half an hour. I was late for 10 minutes to give you time to come here. You need to put information here. What do you need? I want the minimum of this one. I want the maximum for this one. I want the average for this one. And I want the standard deviation that I don't have it here. I need to find it. I want the standard deviation. Is this the
It's
function that I
SDEV,
need
I
or
think.
not?
I think it's SDEV or something like that, yeah. I used it in statistics class.
Good. So we need to find out the standard deviation. Kawaku is coming into the class. Let me see what is Leah. I can go here and I can find the average function, the function for the average. Help more for this function. I need to find out what is the function. This is the function. The formula that I need is this formula. I can use help to find out what I need. This is the formula that I need for a given range. The range that I need to have is this range. I click it, and this is the standard deviation. That's the average. That's the standard deviation. The average is the same as the standard deviation. I put everything in the middle. I organize it in a way that I have what I need to have. And very fast, I drag everything for all the nurses.
Professor,
I
I think your standard deviation formula has to be changed.
I know, Robert. I put average there.
Sorry.
Didn't put standard deviation. Why
I thought you were
did
being tricky again. Sorry.
Why do I put it there? Because I want you to be a manager. What a manager is doing many things. One among the things that the manager is doing is overseeing what other people do and correct their mistakes, because everybody makes a mistake and you don't take everything without making a mistake. That's why I picked up this example to talk to you today, because it started with a mistake and I wanted to make a mistake here, and I want to know how I will find that information. I go to my formulas. I go and I look at my statistical formulas. When I go onto the statistical formulas, I go and I see what is a standard deviation formula. I go to standard deviation and I have here two formulas. Which one do I use and why? And does it make any difference or not? And I can use one. Is this the right one? Is this the right one? And how did I find out that there is a mistake? Robert did not go and check to see what is happening. Robert saw that these numbers and these numbers are the same. When you see the same numbers coming from formula, you assume that the formula is the same. It should not be the same. What this is, Robert makes a notice. The guy made a mistake, knows how to find it, knows how to correct it. We have that information here. So what do I want to do? I want, after the class, to have Andrea to go to work and do the same thing for everybody that works. It doesn't make any difference if Andrea is here, can be able to make a choice. Who is the better nurse? Who is the best nurse? and I don't know. And I haven't seen any book that tells me about that stuff. And I have to ask the lady that gets into the class among the first, Fazila, who is the best nurse.
I'm gonna say Morris.
And here we have information that indicates a comparison we do in terms of rows. In other words, I'm putting the nurses together. I go to my data. I take my data now and I go to look at what is happening for every department. I take exactly the same information I have here and I want to see what is happening with every department. I paste it as transpose. And I get maximum, minimum, average, and standard deviation for every department. What do I want to do? I'll take this formula to find out the minimum. And I will copy it here. What did I do? I copy this formula. I copy the function, or I put it again. What did I do before? What did I do before? I went fast. I copy this information, and now I want to copy it here. How did I copy it? I turn the rows columns and the columns rows, and I have them like this. Is this my correct information about the urology? I have to check. I get these numbers. I make an adjustment. I need these numbers. This is the correct information. What is the maximum? I look at these numbers. I take it and I make the adjustment. Anytime I copy and paste in Excel, I copy and paste things in proportional way. So I need to make an adjustment of the proportionality. What do I have here? I don't need the average. I need the standard deviation. And I need the standard deviation for this case. I have it and it's done. I'm double checking everything. I'm double checking everything. This gives me this minimum. This gives me this maximum. This gives me this average. This gives me that standard deviation. This is for urology. I take for all the 4 departments. And now I would like to make some judgments. This is column. I have information in columns. This is row. I have information in rows. This is telling me what is happening to different departments. This is telling me what is happening to different nurses. Is this clear? Do I go too fast or not? Is the same information. What this says. Morris is better off, but Megan is better than Morris. Can I rank them up to see what is happening? Can I rank them up to see what is happening? Can I take that information and sort it in such a way that I would use column G as something that would go from low to high? I need to take all that information. I need to go and sort it in such a way that's going to go on from lowest to highest. based upon what is in column G. Does it do it or not, and why? What is happening? The best nurse from all is Morgan, or not? The average says that this is the lowest. The second best is Morris. The third best is Richard. The worst of the four is Cook. The question is, where do I allocate them? Which one of these is more valuable? Pediatrics or urology? Cardiology or orthopedics? Do I want the best nurse to be in cardiology or urology? In orthopedics or in anything else? And this is the problem that I have to do. I can go on and I can look at what is happening. I can have a chart. What chart do I need to have? Is this the chart that I need to have? Or I can change the type of a chart and make it different. And if I change the type of a chart, can I have a chart like this? And if I have a chart like this, can I take it and distribute it and change the direction of the chart? Then I would say, okay, guys, you can be useful and you can put a title here, what you're gonna do with this case, and you can be ready to be hired. If you cannot do it, I don't care what the current interim president says about the success campaign. I can't say anything to you. But if we can be able to look at that information, and as we look at that information, we can make decisions about nurses or about different departments, we can move on. And I would leave that open, and I would go to see my next case.
Professor, I have a question really quick.
I'm listening.
Do you think for decision making for departments we're missing a bit of data? Because you need to know, like,